Oh, that's a massive shame. I am really, really sorry. I am so sorry. I was talking throughout the whole of that. That's a big mistake from me. I am really sorry about that. Oh, feels it's just it's a long night. Technical difficulties with everything. I'm so sorry. I'll do a better performance next week. But thank you, Kaelin, for reminding me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Giroud Vizza then. Look at Walter. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Here he goes then. And that's a lovely move from Walter to get that move very early in lap 4 in turn 1. So he's got ahead of Rooney now for P2. Louis Ladd's got a train behind him. He's got AJ, Nathan, ISO Knight and Harvey Lees in the train with him as Knight cuts the corner a bit into turn 4. Sevo Gamer in P9. So it's a DRS train from P4 to P9 with iNemo down there. There we go, there's the time information for all of you. I am really sorry, by the way, for my mistake in the first opening 3 laps. I was speaking, I got excited as well, but I am really sorry. It won't happen again. It's been a long night, things have happened, and yeah. We'll move on from that, and here we go then. Into the hairpin, they're so close behind each other. Can AJ try and overtake Louis Ladd on this straight, both roughly on the same ERS? Here's AJ then, he's got the slipstream, DRS and the overtake button. And yeah, there he goes then. Can he make the overtake stick? Will he cut the corners? No, he won't. He makes the overtake stick, but will Louis Ladd get a better exit? AJ has got DRS to support him down this straight. And he stays ahead for the time being. What about Iceval? Go for a move on Nathan, too far back to do so. And Duwall has made an overtake on iNemo to go up into P10, so Duwall has got himself into the top 10. He's on the medium compound tyres, he's the highest medium runner. For those who weren't here at the start of the race, wondering why Het Bonpier and Jaime are down into P13 and P20, they came together. Basically, they just made contact with each other, and yeah, Jaime got put in the wall, and Het Bonpier didn't have enough space around the outside. Het Bonpier tried it around the outside to stay ahead or try and make a move on Jaime, but it didn't quite go together. Good evening, Pepine. I'm good, thank you, mate. A little bit frustrated at the start of the race because I have my mic muted, but we'll move on. Here's ISO Knight, then they're both draining the ERS they have done, and yeah, they stay where they are. I think ISO Knight made contact with Nathan because it looked like Nathan got a bit of a shove in that last corner, in that hairpin. No moves being done, they're all stuck in that DRS train for now, but look at ISO Knight, made contact with Nathan again. Gotta be careful it doesn't have any damage on the front wing, but out in front the gap is now 1.1 between Walter and Giroud Vizza. Rudy's still sticking with Walter, he's sticking with his DRS. If he could stay there, try and close in on Giroud Vizza, that'd be good for him. Walter got that move done into turn 1 early in the race, but look at Knight all over the back of Nathan, puts him under so much pressure. Nathan's got to attack and defend, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes whatsoever, because if he makes one mistake, that's allowing Knight to get through. As we make our way into the hairpin then, a look at Sevo Gamer on the back of Harvey Lees. Harvey Lees got a fantastic launch off the line to go up into P8. And the thing is for Nathan, he's got Louis Ladd with the DRS ahead of him, so he can't get the overtake done as he would have wanted because Louis Ladd's still in the DRS range of AJ ahead of us. It's looking good for Giroud Vizza. All he needs to do is keep Walter out of the 1 second range of DRS, as Danny Boy is so close behind iNemo. The first penalty goes towards Harvey Lees as Val Fury and Het Bonpier are going at it into turn 3. Het Bonpier's made contact, and he makes contact with Tim. Tim sadly has been put in the wall again because he spun coming out of turn 7, and here comes Jaime then. I think he pitted, yeah, Jaime's pitted along with Anderson, made contact, and yeah, he's got sent into a spin, almost like Lewis Hamilton and Mark Webber in 2011. Remember those two made contact there in 2011, Mark and Lewis. So Walter's still not in the DRS range of Jeroen Visser, but Rudy is, so he's used a lot of ERS. He's almost used a lot of ERS, and so has Walter. And Jeroen Visser's got absolutely no ERS in his tank, so he's used a lot of ERS in these early stages of this race, and he's still using the overtake button, so that could cost him coming towards this race, because if Walter gets in the DRS range, he has the slipstream, and he's James spun coming into turn 8. He's lost his front wing. Could that be a safety car with the debris on the track? I'm not quite sure. Safety car will not be deployed on this occasion, but yeah, Jeroen needs to do a bit of ERS saving, because if Walter gets in his DRS range like he is now, Walter could sit behind Jeroen and you save ERS. Same with Rudy as well, down in P3. So the top 3 are in DRS range of each other. Louis Ladd is under massive pressure because he's got Nathan right behind him. But the thing is though, with Louis Ladd, he's got quite a bit of ERS in his tank still to use, so quite good for Louis Ladd. As long as he stays in DRS range of AJ, then it should be good for him. But the yellow flag's on the straight. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think Giants were tied in the pit lane, so no safety car will be activated. But look at that, look at Knight, he's got down the inside of it, the hairpin. Nathan has the outside, gets better traction because ISO Knight got a bit of a wheel spin coming out of the hairpin. And here's Harvey Lees right behind Knight, and Knight's right behind Nathan. Louis Ladd's got a bit of breathing space as well, and Knight's too far back to make any move into the final 2 corners. There's quite a few penalties being picked up here, and that's from Harvey Lees, Seb, Esteban, DC and Mark. ISO Knight could have got ahead of Nathan if he didn't get wheel spin coming out of the hairpin, because Nathan had better traction coming out there, better launch around the outside. Knight tried to go down the inside into the hairpin. Didn't quite work out, but it was a brave move from Knight. But they're all stuck behind Louis Ladd. The thing is for Louis Ladd though, he's got DRS behind AJ, he's got the slipstream behind him, so as long as Louis Ladd stays in the DRS range of AJ, he should be safe. He's got a bit of ERS to his name as well. He's got a bit of ERS in that tank, as you can see. 62% compared to Nathan and ISO Knight. He's drained a lot of ERS. He's got barely any left. Make our way into the hairpin again. Thing is though, Nathan gets really good exits coming out of the hairpin. He's been experimenting as Het Bompje and Val Fiori has been exchanging positions. Val Fiori's got a better exit out of the corner. And yeah, Knight can't make a move into the final 2 corners. Harvey Lees and Sevo Gamer are going. No, they're not. They're in the pits. That's why Steve's got ahead of him. So pit stop on lap 10 and onto the medium tyres they go. That's a 2-stop strategy from Harvey Lees. Soft, medium, medium, and he will rejoin in clear air, which he wants the most, so he can do the undercut because he's in that DRS train. He can do the undercut as Nathan's right behind. Look at that, he's right behind Louis Ladd. Is he going to make a move? But you can see he lost the back end coming out of there in the dirty air. Didn't have a grip to go through the corner flat out. Had to back out, otherwise he would have spun. If Harvey Lees get a really good outlap, or outlap, then he could do the undercut on all of these, because they're fighting and they're stuck in the dirty air. This will trigger the pit stops as well, and Harvey Lees is 6.8 seconds, so he's got a bit of clean air between himself and the real DC in P12 on the medium compound tyres. And Jeroen Visser has been overtaken by Walter, and Walter's taken the lead off Jeroen Visser already on lap 10. Who will come into the pit lane? Nobody's going to the pit lane. ISO Knight is in the pit lane, so they stay out for 1 extra lap, does Louis Ladd and Nathan. It gives more of a chance for Harvey Lees to do the undercut on these drivers. And look at that, here comes Duel on Sevo Gamer. Overtakes him for P7. He's on the medium compound tyres, so his tyres should be better at this stage, as Esteban changes his front wing, so he must have made contact with somebody in this race. So yeah, changing leadership between Walter started P4 and now he's P1. Made such good progress in this race. He got the move early on Jeroen, but I wonder what happened then, as Mark's retired in the pit lane. Not a good Canadian Grand Prix from him so far. He needs to find a way to he needs to find some pace, this Mark, because it's not gone well for him at all as he's left the session. So a race to forget for Mark. So what Jeroen could do, he could sit behind Walter, save his ERS and try and go for the attack again, as they don't pit, so the top 3 are not pitting, crucially for their race. I wonder which drivers will pit. They stay out, so is it a 1-stop or 2-stop for these drivers? You can see Louis gets out of shape coming to the final corners, allow Nathan to get even closer. ISO Knight does rejoin behind Harvey Lees. Remember, Knight was ahead of Harvey before the pit stops, and Harvey Lees has done the undercut, so that indicates that he will overtake these drivers when they come into the pit lane. Is it a 1-stop on the mediums to hards, 2-stop soft, medium, medium? They could do soft hard, but is that the best strategy around this racetrack? As Esteban picks up a 3-second time penalty. As Dual is the highest medium runner, so expect him to be quicker than these soft runners, because soft runners start to come to an end, as you can see the graining on those tyres. I wonder which one of these top 6 will start to pit first. Harvey Lee still has clear air. He's 3.3 seconds behind DC. He's been gaining a lot of time on him. The one thing though, you don't want to get stuck behind DC. He needs to overtake him as Walter and Rudy are in the pit lane, but somebody's crashed, and that's Esteban again. As into the pits comes Walter for his first pit stop. Louis Ladd's in the pit lane. Nathan stayed out there. Has he stayed out? Yes, he has. Nathan and AJ have stayed out. That's going to be crucial for their race if they're going to stay out. Are they doing the 1-stop? So Walter rejoins in P6. That's the... Who's that ahead of us? That's a Ferrari, Farrell Fury. That's crucial for them. Rudy, unfortunately, did not get ahead of Farrell Fury. That's going to be crucial, because if Rudy gets stuck behind Farrell Fury, that's going to allow Giroud to get ahead of him. But that is really crucial for Walter, because he's found a gap between himself and CRL Gamer and Farrell Fury. And he's hit the wall. Did he pick up any damage? I'm not quite sure. It looks like he got away with it, but can't be faulted doing that on his in-lap, on his out-lap. So with these mediums tyres to start to warm up then, that's when they're going to find the pace. As into the pits comes Esteban to retire. Yep, it's been a dismal weekend for Esteban. He's got no points in the championship at all, and that's him out of the Canadian GP, so he won't pick up any points. Now, Giroud is in the pit lane. Will Nathan and AJ pit? AJ will, but Nathan won't. Now I'm going to go on board with... Should I stay on board with Dual? Yeah, stay on board with Dual, see if he makes a move into turn 1. No, he does not. Now I'm going to go on board with Walter. Walter's got ahead, but Giroud is coming out the pit lane. Where is he? He's rejoined quite far back. There he is. Is he going to rejoin ahead of Rudy? They're side by side now, but Giroud has the outside line, and Giroud rejoins ahead of Rudy for P5. So crucially, he's got himself ahead of Rudy. But yeah, big gap between Walter and Giroud. Walter's outlap was absolutely fantastic. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. I wonder who that is. Looks like it's nobody. I think it's Tim, who's retired in the pit lane. But Dual is right behind Nathan. He needs to get ahead of him. Where's Harvey Lees? He's in P7. He's in P8. He's just got past DC. Yeah, Nathan's down. AJ's down at P12, so he's been undercutted by AJ. Here comes Dual on Nathan for P1. I expect Nathan to come in the pit lane. Yes, he does. But him being overtaken by Dual, that's cost him a bit of time, because he won a straight shot into the pit lane, which he didn't do. He had to brake, so he loses a bit of time. He could be undercutted by AJ here. So Walter leads this race. Well, he's our net race leader in P2. Giroud is under pressure by Rudy. And crucially, Giroud, by staying out one more lap, has lost a lot of time in comparison to Walter. Walter's outlap was absolutely fantastic. I think Giroud should have pitted first. That's cost him a lot of time. Now he's got Rudy for company as well, so Walter has a bit of fresh air between himself and Giroud. He has to overtake Dual on track. If Dual could hold up Walter and bring back Giroud and Rudy into play, could see a good race between those guys. But ISO Knight then is behind Harvey Lees. Remember, Harvey Lees was the first one to pit out of the soft runners, and he's currently in a net P4. He's got ISO Knight right at the back of him. ISO Knight's pace has been fantastic in this race so far. He's done a good job. He started outside the top 10, he started in P11 and now he finds himself in P7 fighting for P6. And look at that, two cars go through, and I thought for one moment the real DC was going to hit the back of AJ, but thankfully he didn't. And here comes ISO Knight. He's going to go around the outside into turn 1, he has the inside line into turn 2, they go side by side now. Has ISO Knight got this move done? Yes he has. What a move from ISO Knight there to get himself into P6. He's got some pace on him, hasn't he? The Alfa Romeo driver. Now Walter has closed in on Duval really quickly and he's got past him. The last lap he was about over 1 second behind and he's managed to overtake him in a place you don't expect to overtake, as Duval goes a bit wide through there, but he can get a decent exit and stay to the back of him, which he doesn't do because look at the launch from Walter. Walter is controlling this race. He started in P4 and now he's in P1. He's done a really good job as Walter. Lap 16 out of 35 in this race. Anything could happen in this race. Safety cars still could come into play. And Rudy's still putting pressure on Jerome Vizza here. Now, interestingly, Knight has caught up to the back of Val Fury, who's on the old medium compound tyres. Already lap 17 out of this race. It's gone quick. This race has. ISO Knight then needs to find a way past Val Fury as quickly as he can, because if he's stuck behind him, that'll allow the cars of like Harvey Lees, Louis Ladd, AJ, Nathan, Real DC and Nemo to close in. We know Val Fury is a tough guy to get past. Makes a mistake coming out of turn 7, loses the rear slightly. Here comes ISO Knight then. Is he going to force one down the inside? I don't think that was a wise thing to do, because it's allowed Harvey Lees to get past. I think ISO Knight should have stayed behind. It's all getting nip and tuck here because they're so close to each other. ISO Knight goes down the inside of Harvey Lees. Can Harvey Lees get a really good exit around the outside? He has the traction. Yeah, yes he does. Louis Ladd gets out of shape coming out of the hairpin. That's allowed AJ to get past, but Harvey Lees has got past ISO Knight. And here he is then. He's going to get past Val Fury for P5. It's a good move from Harvey Lees there. Look at Louis Ladd and AJ going side by side. Val Fury's still there. And AJ's got past Louis Ladd. Here comes ISO Knight. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. And Louis Ladd's gone down the inside into turn 1 of AJ. But AJ has the inside line for the next corner. Here we are then. On board with Val Fury. They go side by side coming out of turn 2. Louis Ladd stays ahead of AJ. What happened at that hairpin? Basically what happened to ISO Knight, he lost his rhythm coming into turn 7 because he went wide into turn 7, compromised his line into turn 8. That allowed Harvey Lees to get right behind him, and so did Louis Ladd, but Louis Ladd lost traction coming out of the hairpin and that brought AJ back into play. And look at that, Val Fury is really holding up Louis Ladd, and that's allowed AJ to have another shot at Louis Ladd. The flashing lights at the back of the cars. AJ sends one down the inside. Val Fury's gone wide. He's going to take 2 for 1, like Felipe Massa did on Heikki Kovalainen and Rubens Barrichello in 2007. But AJ didn't get past the Ferrari. Now he does on the straight. And here comes Louis Ladd on Val Fury. Those old medium compound tyres are not doing Val Fury any favours whatsoever. Now he's got Ineos on the back of him. But crucially for AJ, he's got past Louis Ladd, who he was fighting for position anyway, on the same strategy as him, as Ineos has got past Val Fury. So Val Fury's lost about 3 positions in 1 lap here. Now he's got Nathan for company in behind him. Nathan needs to get past Val Fury as quickly as he can so he can stay in the DRS train of Ineos and the gang ahead of him. Yellow flags, and that is an Alpine or Williams. Virtual safety car has been deployed. He's actually crashed in the final 2 corners. That is Anderson. Safety car's been deployed. Safety car has been deployed, and guess what? That has played into the favours of Duval. And while the safety car is deployed, I will go to the toilet. I know that's not a good thing to do in the middle of the race, but I desperately need it. I drank a lot of water before this race. I just remembered that they added the Aston Martin safety car as well, so the Aston Martin safety car is leading. What did you say, Papine? You said Rudy got disqualified with the safety car, is he? Where is he? Yeah, actually, where is he? Holy sugar, he actually is disqualified. What happened to him? Oh dear, he wasn't even the race leader, so how on earth did he get disqualified for overtaking the safety car? That's going to cost crucial points to the championship for Rudy. Now, thing is though, we've got like 14 laps to go. Can the soft tyres make it towards the end of the race? I'm not quite sure actually. Can they make it towards the end of the race? But thing is though, Jeroen Visser, his strategy, his undoable strategy, they have to overtake Walter as quickly as they can on those soft compound tyres, because if they don't do it, they're going to spend a lot of time behind Walter. The soft tyres will start to wear out, and therefore Walter's tyres will come back into play. Strategy is a two-stop strategy, but Nathan's on the medium compound tyres. I'm intrigued to know why he hasn't pitted. He's going to be under massive pressure from the likes of Harvey and all those guys behind him. Everybody is on a brand new set of tyres except from Nathan Lees in P4. So I wonder why he didn't pit. But anyway, I think he wanted track position. But anyways, the safety car is coming into the pit lane. I don't blame Nathan because he was well, I think he didn't pit because of his teammate, as Foul Fury gets a 3-second time penalty. Anyways, we are away. Jeroen Visser in second place then should be quicker at this stage of the race due to Walter's tyres being on the medium compound tyres. So should Dewar. Dewar's in the podium positions. It would be nice to see Dewar back at the podium here in Canada. An English/French speaking country. Parts of Canada do speak French and other parts speak English. Nathan in P4 then, he'll be under pressure from Harvey Lees towards near the end of the race due to his tyres being a little bit older compared to the other drivers. AJ didn't really get the best of restarts, the Louis lad is right behind him. Will he send? No, I don't think it's wise to send one up the inside. You don't want to lose a lot of time fighting through there, because if you fight through there, you lose a lot of time, and you need that crucial time to stay on the back of your rivals. Oh, Nemo almost hit the back of Louis lad. Now these soft runners should be really quick in comparison to these medium runners. But anyways, expect an overtake from Jeroen soon, being on those soft compound tyres. Right, so lap 22 out of 35, there's 13 laps to go. These tyres, these soft compound tyres, they'll be dead towards the end of the race, I assure you. So they've got to make this overtake as quick as possible. As look at that, we've got some action going on further behind the field. Here comes C4 Gamer then on Ice Fury. I meant Relentless Fury. Fury is up into P10. He stays in P10. C4 Gamer is all over the back of him. Nemo makes a mistake there into turn 4. As Foul Fury all over the back of him. He goes down the inside. Actually sensible down the inside. Into the chicane we go. Barging wheels, they both spin. Actually, they both save it, but Ice Fury hits the wall. And that's allows C4 Gamer to take 2 positions. And here comes Het Bompje. Het Bompje wisely stays, but Foul Fury and Nemo make contact with tyre to tyre. And therefore, that sent both of them into a half spin, but they both save it. As Foul Fury sends one up the inside, he's broke his front wing. And almost sends C4 Gamer into a spin. Foul Fury will be back in the pit lane for sure, and here comes Het Bompje, gonna make a move on Fury. He's gonna be careful though, and here comes Nemo. They're like 4 wide. Look at, oh my god, oh my god! I'm not sure what happened there, but both Ferraris have been involved in more further contact. Both Ferraris are in the pit lane, so this is a race to forget for Ferrari and Alpine. Oh dear, look at that. Look at Nemo's going to get held up massively, because look at that. Yep, that's their race over. DRS is enabled. This is crucial times for Jeroen Visser. Look at Walter's ERS status. He's got loads of ERS in the tank. They've dropped Doable. Doable is out of DRS range. He's got to keep an eye on Nathan behind, but the thing is though, Nathan's tyres are older, and Harvey Lees is right on the back of Nathan Booth. Now, Jeroen Visser, DRS is enabled. Will he get past him on this straight? Will he use a lot of ERS on this straight to try and make a move into the final corner? Whilst I know he could be on the better tyres towards the end of this race, he doesn't make a move here, but he needs a decent final 2 corners, which he doesn't do. Whilst he gets a better exit. And look at that, there's that Harvey Lees cuts the track, and look at that. Here comes ISO Knight then on the back of him. He's too far back to go down the inside, but Harvey Lees cuts the track. I'm not sure if he was too close to Nathan. Jeroen Visser still putting the pressure on Walter. Went for a different strategy against Walter. I'm surprised Duel's not closing on this battle. Maybe he's just keeping it nice and easy, even though Duel's consistent. And DC's got past Het Bompier to move up into P10. Thing is though, Jeroen Visser can't afford to stay behind Walter too long, because if he does, then Walter's tyres will be better shape. Well, they'll be much better compared to the soft compound tyres, and therefore be over for Jeroen Visser. He needs to find a way past as quickly as he can before those soft tyres will eventually fade out towards the end of this race. But the question is, when will he make a move? Or if, can he make a move around this track? Has he got the confidence to? Because we know Walter's race pace is amazing around here, as Louis has made his way past AJ. Won't make it on this occasion, but ISO Knight is right behind. There he is then. Harvey Lees is going to go around the outside of Nathan. Into turn 2 we go. Harvey's got the inside line, and he's made his way up into P4. Right, so next target for Harvey is Duel. Bearing in mind Harvey Lees has got a 3-second time penalty to his name. He wants a podium in his last race because he's leaving. He's been a reserve driver after this race because he's got a lot going on in his life. So hopefully he gets a podium. Now he's going to defend from ISO Knight has Nathan. ISO Knight's pace has been fantastic. He didn't make it to Q3, he started P11, but his pace has been phenomenal as ISO Knight. He can get a better exit coming out here. Will he challenge Nathan on this straight? Gets a bit of a oversteer coming out of that corner. And Jeroen Visser's too far back to make a move on our race leader. If you weren't with us at the start, Walter started in P4. He got an amazing start off the line, went up to P3 ahead of Jaime, who's out of this race, and he got past Rudy into turn 1 on lap 4, I think. Then he got past Jeroen Visser on lap 10. So his race pace this race has been fantastic, as Walter. He did it on track. It wasn't due to pit stops or anything. He did it on track to get to the lead of this race. Now he's under pressure from Jeroen as he's on the soft compound tyres. Meanwhile, we've got Harvey Lees catching Duel. So Harvey Lees is hoping for a podium. But the thing is though, he's got a 3-second time penalty hovering over his name. Oh, look at that. ISO Knight has been pressurising Nathan throughout the whole race, and he's going to make a move into the hairpin. We go side by side. ISO Knight still makes the corner despite going on the grass, because you lose performance if you go on the grass with the car unsettling. And here comes Knight then. Nathan's run out of ERS, and here comes ISO Knight then with the ERS advantage just slightly. And around the outside he goes. Nathan smartly backs out of it, but ISO Knight cuts the corner though. You might get a warning for that one. And Jeroen Visser still hasn't made the move for P1. He's going to make it while the tyres are still in his favour. He's so close, he's got about 7 laps to do it, but bearing in mind his tyres will start to lose performance. I say in about 3 laps time his tyres will start to fade away, and therefore Walter will pull away. So Jeroen Visser has to make this move as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Duel is under pressure from Harvey Lees. ISO Knight is behind Harvey Lees. Can ISO Knight get a podium, I wonder? But that could be a bit difficult for him, because he's got a 3-second time penalty. Has he? Yes, he has got a 3-second time penalty. Could be Nathan if he can overtake Duel on track. Can Duel still take a podium? He's got a lot of pressure behind him with Harvey Lees and ISO all night. Here comes Giroud. So is it time to make a move? Is he going to send one up the inside? No, he does not. He's trying to force Walter into a mistake. Is Giroud, but Walter's too smart to do that. And Louis Lad is right behind Nathan. Here he comes then. As we make our way into turn 1. They're both derated on the straight. He tries to go around the outside of Nathan, but Nathan still has the inside line and he stays ahead. You know what? Giroud can't afford to make dummy moves on Walter. He needs to send one. He knows that Walter doesn't get forced into a mistake easily. Walter is a consistent driver. If you've seen his results this year, he's had 3 P2s, 1 P1, and this race he could get P1 again. Giroud needs to break him. I think he should have set him up. He should have got a better exit coming out the final 2 corners, and try and get him into turn 1. It's only a matter of time before those soft tyres will start to fade out. As Louis Lad's overtaking Nathan. Has he got it done this time? Yes, he has. Louis Lad moves himself up into P6. So look at ISO Knight right behind Harvey Lees. Here he is. He's going to make a move into turn 1 we go. Around the outside again. That's a lovely move from ISO Knight. He did the exact same thing on Harvey Lees before the pit stops. ISO Knight is a man on a mission. Can he get a podium though? But he has to overtake Duel and pull a 3-second gap. It could be possible for ISO Knight. The sad part about it, he's got a 3-second time penalty. He's certainly got pace for tonight's race as ISO Knight. As Duel's tyres get older, that'll pay the favours of ISO Knight because Duel hasn't got DRS to protect himself from Knight and the rest of them. Don't think Giroud is close enough. No, he's too far back. Was it too late for Giroud? Should he sent it at that moment when he was close enough? Still, if he could get a decent exit at the final 2 corners, which he doesn't do, Walter might have this one in the bag again. But look at Knight, he's right behind Duel. Giroud is too far back to make a move, but what about Knight? He is too far back to make a move, but he knows that Duel is running low on EOS because of that flashing light at the back of the car. Nathan's going to be careful because he's got his teammate and somebody has caused the yellow flags in sector 3, and that is Danny Boy, who's had a dismal race. Both Ferraris have. Nathan's tyres then are 16 laps old. If he's struggling on 16 lap old tyres, then these soft tyres will be definitely struggling on those. Giroud has had 11 laps to try and overtake Walter, but has he been too late with those overtakes? Please don't tell me he's crashed on the straight. I hope he hadn't caused a safety car. I think he's retired in the pit lane. Or has he? He's retired on track. Now, is that Danny Boy ahead of us? And ISO Knight's overtaking Duel. And Harvey Lees, can he get the move on Duel as well? Yes, he is. He's going to get the momentum and run on Duel as he makes his way into turn 1. Duel tries to stick it around the outside if he can. But Harvey Lees has got better traction on these tyres. He hasn't retired. That's Danny Boy. He's still in the race, but they go side by side as we come into turn 2 and 3. One of them's going to have to yield. They might end up in the wall. No, they still go side by side. That's fantastic racing from both of them. They're still side by side. Look at that. There's an AlphaTauri of... who's that AlphaTauri? Louis Lad. Louis Lad's still there. Duel still stays in ahead of Harvey Lees. And there comes Louis Lad. He's going to make a move on both of them. Is he going to take 2 for 1? Yes, he is down the inside. He forces Duel off the track, but he almost loses traction. Look at that, they go forward. Here comes Nathan Booth down the inside. They both contact. They both make contact, and that's McLaren off the road. And who's that? That's Louis Lad as well. It all got a bit messy for all the drivers down there. Way too messy. And somebody lost their front wing as well. I think Harvey Lee's lost part of his front wing. Yes, he has. Look at. I think he should have come to the pit lane because he's going to be very slow, and he's lost part of his front wing again. But the thing is though, Nathan Booth might get a podium because he's 2.2 seconds behind Knight, who has a 3-second time penalty. But the thing is though, Knight's tyres are younger than Nathan's. If Knight can find about a second, then he can stay on the podium. He has tyre advantage, does ISO on Knight, so he could try and pull that gap. AJ could still get a podium because he needs to overtake his brother and reduce the gap between himself and Knight, so he could still get a podium. But yeah, sadly it all got a bit messy down at the chicane, the hairpin. They went 4 wide, and that's not a place where to go 4 wide. The Red Bull was sandwiched in between McLaren and the Haas driver, so Red Bull had nowhere to go. AlphaTauri was involved as well. I dare say they were all impatient, but Jeroen Visser's 3 tenths behind Walter. He's got 2 laps to go, forcing Walter into an error, but Walter's too good for that. And DC's got past Harvey as Harvey Lees enters the pit lane to try and go for the fastest lap of this race. That belongs to Head Bobby, I think. The gap between Nathan and ISO Knight is 2.8. Knight needs to find 3 more tenths to get ahead of Nathan. Nathan's tyres are 19 laps old, 5 laps. Oh, he's got another penalty. Oh, that's a shame. He can't do it anymore. Yep, he can't do it. So the podium will belong to Nathan or AJ. And these 2 brothers will fight it out because they know Knight's got a 6-second time penalty. Who is going to take 3rd place? Will it be Nathan? Will it be AJ? Here comes AJ and Nathan. Now we need to set him up through the final 2 corners and get him into turn 1. A relatively decent exit from AJ. He's got the EOS advantage towards Nathan. Will he go down the inside? No, he won't. He stays behind. It's the last lap. AJ needs to make this move on the final lap. Can he do it? And Dealwall's got past Foul Fury for 10th place. So here he is, here we are, our race leaders. They both haven't got a penalty. I think it's too late for Jeroen Visser to try and win this race now. If Walter can keep it nice and clean, he will win the Canadian Grand Prix, his 2nd victory in a row. He won the Belgian Grand Prix last week. Here he is then, the final 2 corners. Jeroen Visser picks up a penalty, so he's definitely safe. Walter will come across the line to win the 2nd race of his season as AJ's got past Nathan for the podium. AJ will take the podium off Nathan, and he will come across the line to finish in P3. That was an important overtake for AJ. Nathan in P4, ISO Knight P5, Seb in P6, Luelad in P6, DC in P8. That is the race over then. Jeroen Visser picked up the penalty at the last corner, and the victory belonged to Walter. His 2nd win this season, and he extends his championship lead. Walter has been fantastic this season. He's so consistent. It's only the 5th race of the season, and yet he's been on the podium. And Stanley's joined a bit too late there. He's been on the podium all 5 races. He's been in the top 2 for the 5 races as well, and yeah, he's been very consistent this year. If he keeps this up, he'll definitely be champion. I know it's only round 5, but he's got a massive championship lead. And I'll invite our podium sitters then. In fact, guys, I will not be doing podium interviews. It's too late for me to do podium interviews. I just want to get off and going. So that's the race done for the Canadian GP. Walter is your race winner ahead of Jeroen, and AJ is in P3. So no podium interviews tonight because it's too late. And yeah, it's a double Mercedes podium. Thanks to AJ contributing for that in P3. That's the race over, and hope for a better one next one.